Ever notice how ads always pop up at the worst moments? When the killer's identity is about to be revealed. During that perfect meditation flow. On Amazon Music, we believe in keeping you in the moment. That's why we've got millions of ad-free podcast episodes, so you can stay completely immersed in every story, every reveal, every breath. Download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.
Disney bought up a whole ton of stuff. So branding, that's not on the fans. I mean, it sounds like Disney shotgunned it and said, hey, look, they like Star Wars. They must like Marvel. They must like this and that. Let's just get everything. Let's just get everything people like that makes them happy and just try to own it all. Again, that's not on us as the fans. That's on the company, which we have no part of. Yeah, I don't have much stock in Disney. Maybe I should be trying to invest in this, but
I have one stock.
You got one stock?
Got one stock.
How much effect are you having with that one stock? Are you
let me tell you, I make the company move.
That's why you're going to put that on social media.
One stock, that's right.
Put that on social media with your goofy hat on. There you go.
Hi, people. This is Blakely. Blakely from the movie. What was the name of the Lilo and Aaron. Stitch. Lilo and Stitch. That's right. I'm Blakely. I'm not just some aging comic actor who just ran by Lake Champlain because he's doing a comedy set tonight at the Vermont Comedy Theater. And if you're around there, please come. Don't worry. You're probably saying, is it sold out? No. No. Is it half full? No. Legally, I have to do the show because the old showbiz saying is that you have to have more people in the audience than on stage. And there's two people in the audience, but I'm only a one-person act, so legally I have to. So we're not sold out. I'm Blakely. I'm not Kevin McDonald from the Kids in the Hall. The weakest kid in the hall. No, you're not. Come on. I love mosquitoes. There. Hey, Jumba. Anyway, this is Blakely. Hi, how you doing? And you're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Rachel. I'm Blakely, played by Kevin McDonald, the weakest actor in the kingdom. I'm playing tonight, and I've ruined my voice doing Blakely. I hope you're happy, you Kevin, Danny, Eli, Rachel people. Listen to Magic Our Way. I listen to it all the time. I'm lying. I've never heard of it.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it, feel it.
This is the show where every opinion is welcome and nothing we present is groundbreaking or terribly exciting. It's just some filler for your life if you need it. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. On this episode, we explore the term Disney adult and how people are using it in a pejorative or derogatory manner. And look, this isn't your typical polish, practice, pixie dust and Disney podcast. No way. We're not in Epcot every day, letting you know that Frozen Ever After has soft opened early at Epcot with updated faces.
That's right, Kev. We're just here to drink, talk some Disney, and explore whether or not one should stay in touch with their inner Disney child.
And yes, you listeners have the easy part. You guys and gals have to do is to listen up to what we think up while we drink up.
My name is Kevin.
My name is Danny.
I'm Eli.
And Rachel is out today. But look, if you're thinking about visiting a major theme park in the near future, like Disney or Universal, Rachel can help you book that. Booking with Rachel is one of the easiest ways to support this show. Also, you can leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. And as always, we want to thank our Patreon supporters, both past and present, for all they have done and continue to do for us. So look, y'all, enough of our jibber jabber. Let's figure out this whole Disney adult thing. Welcome to the Hub, the big topic segment of our show. And as I mentioned in the intro, I present to you, Disney adults, let's explore the criticism. And there is a phrase people use online, most of the time when I'm looking at this stuff, it's people that are maybe not Disney fans or whatever else, or have a perception of, well, I don't want to go into it because that's some of the points that they make as reasons for using this term Disney adult as like a pejorative or derogatory term, manner of sorts. But in either way, it's rarely defined. It's usually delivered with some type of eye roll, some kind of face of disgust or whatever. And lately, it just seems louder than ever. So instead of arguing with strangers on the internet, we're going to examine the criticisms, the real ones, the current ones that are out there, not to defend ourselves, not to rant, but just to see if any of those criticisms hold up.
But arguing with strangers on the internet is a lot of fun, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Kills a lot of time.
Yeah.
Sure
And
does.
it's so fulfilling.
Yeah.
So just to kind of give you a little background of how I arrived at this particular topic is, I had a friend of mine on Facebook. He made some type of, I don't remember the exact words, but some type of political comment. Somebody retorted in such a manner, but whatever that manner was, another friend of his said, "Oh, you just got told off by a Disney adult." I'm like, and that's where I stopped. I didn't even look to see the rest of the thread. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I don't get that.
Me either.
So I wanted to explore, and I keep every now and then I'll see that term thrown around as like some kind of like it's supposed to be an insult or whatever else. And
Okay.
I'll see it in maybe some videos or whatever, like video shorts or whatnot. People saying it. And I'm like, when the hell did this all start? I don't quite get it.
I remember, like, I've heard adulting at Disney. I've heard of that before, but I've never thought of it as like an insulting term. I kind of looked at it like, yeah, when you go with your family, that's family time at Disney. When you go with, like if you take your wife out for a date at, I don't know, Le Cellier, or if, you go to a bar, you go to GO82 or something like that, man, that's adulting to me. You're being in like,
Right.
We can get into it when we
Sure.
get to the actual topic. But this is the first I've really heard where, like, I've heard people like referred to badly for doing these kind of things, but to use that term in that kind of a way, that's the connection I'm trying.
It's new,
Yeah.
yeah. Because it's not so much the adulting piece; it's the actual fact that you're an adult that loves Disney.
Wait, now,
Mhm.
you don't have
Yeah.
to tell me what the actual argument was about that your friend had. You just said it was something that was political. So it wasn't like a Disney thing. They were just arguing about some general political
and
blah,
I'll
blah,
see
blah.
it in a bunch of various
Okay.
topics of whatever. It could be political, it could be something related to sports or whatever else. But I've seen it use the term Disney adult in that order
Oh.
as an insult of sorts.
that
I'm like,
that didn't make any sense.
it doesn't
That's-
make any sense to me.
It's like saying you got gray hair. Why you talking? Like, yeah.
Where
It's
are you
weird.
hanging to hear all these people say this?
Yeah, where you find
Where do we
this?
find you? Like, are you on
No,
Reddit?
it's social. No, not in Reddit. Yeah, no,
Social media?
when I'm working social media for the podcast, because
Okay.
we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, even YouTube. Whenever those people engage, you know how the social media
What do you mean those people?
algorithms? You know how those algorithms?
to Disney adults.
Yeah, the algorithms just start showing you thing after thing after thing. So every now and then I'll stumble and kind of look, and it's like, oh, okay, and then I'll look at comments. It's like, oh, what the hell? It's
right.
kind of weird.
Okay.
But apparently there are videos out there and there's articles out there, and so I'm like, well, let's synthesize all this, and seeing as we are Disney adults, let's figure out if any of these things hold water.
We are the perfect
Mike has
people to
video.
talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
glad
yeah.
to talk. Yeah, absolutely.
And so look out there listening. We're not here to convince anyone to love Disney, right? We're also not pretending that every Disney adult is perfect. But I figure if you're going to criticize something, at least criticize what it actually is and not a TikTok character, So kind of frame this whole discussion. We're walking through some of the biggest criticisms of late of Disney adults, old and new.
Okay.
And we're going to be honest with them. If the critics are right, we'll say they're right. If they're wrong, we'll explain why. So that's basically how we're going to approach this particular discussion here.
Okay.
So, you all ready for the myths or the criticisms?
Yes, let's hear it.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, what we got?
Yeah.
Myth number one.
The first one is this, and this is a classic one. It's the myth that, well, not myth, it's the criticism that Disney adults are childish. They haven't grown up. And the assumption is that Disney is for kids, so loving it as an adult must signal immaturity. What do we think of that?
That's just a simple overgeneralization, kind of like saying that anyone that enjoys comic book movies or comic conventions are basement dwelling nerds, or anyone that watches pro wrestling is stupid because they don't realize it's fake. I mean, it just,
Yeah.
that's awful. Like, yeah, I hate that kind of thing. It's just stereotyping negatively for the sake of, I don't know, making yourself feel better than someone else.
Yeah, without even
Yeah.
scratching the surface, because I mean, if anyone's listening to the show that knows, I mean, this stuff is complicated. Nobody just says, hey, I'm just going to Disney and it's done. I mean, there's a lot of work involved in it. Some logistics and stuff. Like, you could be a project manager planning a vacation to Disney at this point.
And check out all the highest grossing movies of all time. I mean, they're all based on fiction.
Right?
I mean, with the exception of Titanic, and aside from getting the name of the ship right and the fact that it sank, the rest of that movie was bull. Every other movie is all like sci-fi and fantasy and animation. Maybe there are people out there that like serious movies about serious struggles with people dealing with terminal illnesses and existential crises and whatnot. But yeah, God forbid there be people who don't want drama in their entertainment when they have it every day in their regular life.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I mean, of escaping of all that.
Yeah, that's exactly it, is the idea of life sucks. More often than not, life is built around preventing you from doing. Eli and I would talk about this all the time. It's like, try to do something negative in this life, and it's not too hard.
Not hard at all.
Booze is cheap. Cigarettes are cheap.
Yeah.
You know, there are several different ways that you can wreck your life, and it's pretty easy to do. Try to do something positive, and
the world's against you.
Good luck with that. It's what do they say? It's easier to destroy than to build up, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, God forbid that people try to block out how shitty life can be sometimes, and how resistant it could be to any effort to exercise change over it. And they can walk into a theater or they can walk through a theme park and feel hope, feel inspired again, feel like, oh wait, maybe I can muster up the energy it takes to take one more shot at that dream, to dream bigger than where you are, you know, as opposed to having to accept that life is just going to keep beating you back into that cubicle.
Right.
That's what, yes.
I don't know. I mean, that's such a dumb way of looking at it.
It's a very minuscule way to look at it.
I find it to be very superficial.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a very surface level, and not understanding why, because of some prejudged notion that Disney equates to kids. And that's it.
Right. Calling it children's entertainment, like Sesame Street is children's entertainment. Paw Patrol, Bubble Guppies. I mean, that's children's entertainment, but movies and TV shows that deal with
Real
bigger
life.
themes, like I don't know, overcoming adversity, finding one's purpose in life. They're not solely for children just because they happen to be animated.
Right.
That's
the assumption, right?
Yeah, but people who make those kind of broad over generalizations, I mean, they themselves deserve to be broadly categorized as a bunch of self-righteous douchebags that make life less fun for the rest of us.
I was gonna say, like he kind of said, like, we're getting beat down. I mean, like, what is it like to really be an adult? You basically have to go to work, pay taxes, you know, pay bills, you know. I mean, there is no point where you actually get a release, and that's not being a child to go somewhere that is very strenuous just to get to that park.
Yeah.
But to just say, hey, look, I'm happy and content. And I don't think there's really anything wrong with that. If somebody has a different way that they choose to do it, I mean, some people, like we were saying, they may drink, they may smoke, they may parachute. I mean, like, anyone can judge what someone does for some sort of enjoyment. I think personally, I know people that's like, yeah, I like to skydive for fun. I'm like, that's crazy to me. Like, I have no desire to just plunge to my death. But hey, if that's what cheers you up, cool. So, you know, I don't see why they want to do that. Plus, Disney is employing people. Are we the country that likes to make sure that everybody has money and everyone pulls their weight? This is an entertainment thing. These people have jobs, and what we do depends on it. It's all part of the recycling of the economy. I mean, let's be fair to them.
And to that point, Disney adults aren't just people who appreciate creativity and imagination. To what Eli just said, yeah, I mean, there are also people who happen to love great bars with unique cocktails and 5-star restaurants with meals that you've never tried before. I mean, it's like people who say that stuff are people to me who don't realize what Disney. If you're talking about the theme parks, you don't realize what Disney is, because it's 5-star restaurants, it's great cocktails. You can have so much fun over there on the more adult side of things and appreciate those kind of more refined things. It's not like every person who walks in there is just looking for a corn dog and, you know,
And a roller
to ride
coaster
Dumbo for the third time. Yeah, it's just silly.
It's silly because it gets to the notion that being the definition of adult is one singular thing.
Right.
Where they miss the fact that part of the being an adult is making your own decision. And so as a Disney adult, I choose to do this. I choose to go to the parks. I choose to watch the movies. I enjoy it because just to all the points that we've made, I enjoy those particular things. It's my form of escape. It's funny how we, selectively apply that label of adults what's being childish. I mean, adults scream at sports games.
Yep.
Adults build wine cellars. Adults cosplay. But visible, colorful joy. For some reason that's where people suddenly draw the line.
Right.
Which is strange.
It's funny you say that because it's like, okay, fine. Let's say there was a big hulking guy that's a sports fan that says, hey, I don't like Disney adults. Meanwhile, he goes to a sports game, paints his face, dresses up like something.
Half naked.
Yeah. I mean, like, everybody has that part of them in it to go ahead and cut loose, if you will. This is no different.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this isn't necessarily about maturity, and maybe it's just about discomfort for those people that use it as a criticism. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, y'all ready for the next one?
Oh, yeah.
Let's check out the next one. So another common criticism is that Disney adults are clinging to their childhood. So it's kind of related to the first one, but they extend it to say that this is emotional regression. Critics argue Disney adults cling to childhood comfort instead of engaging with adult interest or confronting present-day responsibilities.
Present-day responsibility. Come on.
Are the critics aware of how much money it costs to go to Disney World? I mean, you don't get to live your life in the clouds and avoiding responsibility and still be able to afford to go to Disney.
Yes, that is being more adult than any adult to figure out how to live your life, paying a mortgage, go to vacation, and then pay off the vacation when you come back while still paying all those bills.
Yeah.
Don't get no more adult than that.
I mean, definition of responsibility, that's what I don't get. Using the definition of responsibilities, like what? Do I have to constantly sit in that suck, so to speak, of the daily suck? Is I can't, people go to beaches,
the daily
whatever
suck.
Else. Yeah. It's like, why do I have to deal with the daily suck? Of having, it's funny. I was in a band and there's this one guy, he's like, man, I don't know why I open the mailbox anymore because all it does is deliver worries.
That's fair.
Back when they used to mail bills.
Yeah.
This was back in the day when we were younger. But it's just so weird.
Like, what are these other adult activities that they think that we should be doing there? I mean, like,
oh, that's a great question.
What should we be indulging in? Golf, skydiving, rock climbing?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
cigars and a cognac.
Cigars, yeah, stuff that will kill us quicker. Yeah,
I think I've asked this in this show before when this similar type of criticism has come up. How many museums do I have to go to? And how much pottery do I have to stare at before I can stop pretending this is fun? Sorry. At some point in time, I get it. We all have to pretend that crap is fun for a while. But at some point, you want to go ahead and let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you want to call that childish, then go ahead and do it. If I make enough money to afford to do it, clearly I'm not approaching life like a child. Again, if I can afford to go to Disney, I must be living life pretty well in order to do so. So pardon the hell out of me for not wanting someone else's drama present in my entertainment.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, in this day and age, what is there to do? Argue about politics, argue about...
Oh, yeah. Is that... Oh, my
how about
God.
You want some fun? How about are people having fun talking about that now? I don't think so.
Is that not childish? Holy cow.
And the other thing is just like the first point. I think it's about people liking to hold on to things that cheer them up. That's why you always have, like, you ever driven down like an interstate or something and there's some singer or some comedian that has no relevancy anymore, but they're at the Beau Rivage or some casino. It's because they know there's still a crowd of people who like that nostalgia. I mean, that's like part of the human condition, if you will. So again, people like that. I mean, that's why there's a New Edition tour going on right now. New Edition. I don't know when the last time they made an album, but yes, a 20-year-old band.
They were when the Bible was in first edition.
Yeah. Before the King James version came out. You know what I mean? But people still remember them. They remember when they were kids, dancing to the songs and stuff. So again, that's part of the human condition to like something that's nostalgic. And that's no different than, again, being a Disney fan and wanting to go ahead. You had a Disney vacation. You had a good time. You want to go ahead, and recreate that as much as you possibly can because it's reliving fun. That's a stress reliever. That's a good thing.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it reminds me of a less stressful time in my life.
Yes.
You know, especially with traveling with my parents and stuff. And I don't know, maybe the people that make these criticisms that really have that.
Well, to me, these are people who like to gravitate towards things that divide people as opposed to things that bring people together. Because I mean, when you think about when you're a kid, you're not fighting over religion or politics or all that. I can't tell you how many times, this is part of the reason I don't go on Facebook anymore. I still get little messages that pop up. And then the first, I can't believe this. How could you support that? I don't even read it. That's how it starts out. I don't know who they're talking about, who did what. And it's daily outrage.
Yeah.
And people just feed off of that. I don't. And that's what I'm saying is it's better when you're more like kids, when they're you like blue, I like blue, best friend.
Right.
Now, you can't do that. You once you get older, it becomes everyone's life is, especially now, when everybody's so swimming in politics and forcing people to take sides on different issues one way or the other, and it's invading every aspect of life. It's invading our entertainment now, where you can't get away from it.
It's very divisive.
It's very divisive.
Yeah.
So God forbid we gravitate towards things that are a little bit more fun and carefree and take you away from that and show the good in humans and the need to overcome and be the best version of yourself you can be. I mean, those are the stories that resonate with me.
Yeah. But even if you disagree on something that's a creative thing, it doesn't make you want to punch the other person out. It doesn't make you want to not friend that person. I mean, you're right about the social media. I remember times when I was on it a lot, and somebody would write something like, oh, no, I don't think it's like this. Boom. I'm unfriended. I was like, man, I'm sorry I wrote something.
Although to be fair, I think it may be changing because I remember when we said the Fantastic Four movie, the new one, sucked. Boy, did that bring out a lot of people who were waiting to hang us up.
Oh, man.
And it wasn't like we didn't provide good reasons, but man, they went right into the straw man, whatever they could attach and manipulate your opinion to be. I mean, just awful. But yeah, it is starting to get like that, especially online when everything's so hyperbolic. But I mean, I've never had a conversation with a friend like, what do you mean you hated the English patient? I can't be your friend no more.
That's it.
Yeah, you don't exactly just click done.
Right. Yeah.
You actually, if you're in person, you have to walk away from that conversation if you're actually going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people just hide
change the subject.
Or change the subject.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nostalgia for me isn't necessarily a retreat. I think it's grounding. Yeah, I take it back and it takes me back to a place and it reminds me of who I am, who I was. Remember the happy times and stuff. I mean, all of us revisit comfort media. We just don't mock most of it,
Right.
Comfort media, comfort food, comfort drinks. There's all kinds of things that people look towards to make themselves feel better.
Yeah, to anchor yourself to something good.
Yeah. I guess the criticism just come out just because it has Disney tied to it.
Is this a troll? These a bunch of trolls that are attacking, kind of like that person that say we weren't authentic personalities or something like that.
To us? No, but it could be trolls for other people. They just seem to overlap and have similar themes.
All right,
it's weird.
right.
But all right, so here's the third one.
All right.
Maybe this might have some bite. Maybe not necessarily to us, but some of the fans or maybe other personalities in the Disney fan universe. It's the idea that Disney stops being a hobby and becomes an identity. Matching outfits, Disney walls, 24/7 Disney content. Disney adults are portrayed as over-identifying with the brand, especially online, where extreme examples dominate social media algorithms.
I don't know what to really say on that. I mean, if they're in Disney World or Disneyland, then that's the best place to let yourself go. But it's very rare for me that I've worked in the corporate environment that the CEO comes in with mouse ears in a business meeting. I don't really see something like that, So
yeah, they may have a sticker on the back of their car.
Or like a little polo with Mickey, like a small Mickey or something more subtle.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wonder if they're going after content creators that you see. Of course, they got to be like over.
But generally,
like
even
that.
them, they only do that when they're in the park.
Sure.
Which is, I mean, my God, come on. Like, even casual people will buy those ridiculous hats that they have at the park. And when you walk around the park, you feel totally at home.
True.
And then you go home, you're like, I could never wear this hat in public.
Right.
Right.
And
you put it in the
right in the closet. Right.
I still got my goofy hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to
Unless
me,
it's Mardi Gras. Sure, it's
Yeah.
no problem.
Well, yeah, it's crazy here.
Yeah.
this is just an example of extremism. And there are all kinds of fans that engage in extremism. Like, how many times do you go to sporting events? And like Eli said, I think it was, that they paint it up and they're, what you call it, done up in costume.
Just like clouds.
They're streaking on the field in the middle of the Super Bowl. Or sometimes they just get into fights in the stands.
Yep.
Because you didn't agree with their take on whatever. So, I mean, it exists in the world of sports. It exists in the world of music. I mean, how many groupies stalk musicians?
Oh, God.
Through the airport and in the hotel rooms. And I mean, there's been musicians who've been killed by deranged fans.
I thought you'd go with East Coast, West Coast beef. Like, I thought you was going with.
Oh, there's that too. Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. East Coast, West Coast. There you go. The perfect
Taking
example.
it back to the day. Yeah, for sure.
Different levels of fandom that brings out the extremes in a lot of people. You see it in politics. Same thing.
Especially nowadays, yeah.
Exactly.
I think Rachel had said it earlier. It's like, it's my team versus your team now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And people need to be identified as whatever party they agree. Again, I go back to the wise words of Linus. Three things you should never talk about in public: religion, politics, and the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Follow
and apparently
that.
Disney.
But now, like the first two, like it's almost like I need to know this before I even have a conversation with you. I need you to know this about me before you have a conversation with me.
Yeah. Usually those two, they're intermingled. When I keep talking to somebody, if it's something about a politic, they throw in some religion or they throw in a racial belief. Like, well, I just was asking what you cooked today. Like,
Yeah.
how did we get to this?
And that's the thing, like you can tell when the subject keeps coming up, it's like, oh, buddy, this is all on your mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to go over here now. Bye.
Exactly. Like, I'm going to see you later. I'm going to go scratch my toes. Really quick.
Scratch my toes.
Does this have anything that I know I'm bad with the very specific Disney terms, but is this how they view what you
Like
call
pixie dusters?
The pixie dusters, yeah. Is that what this general public is thinking of when they think of this?
I don't think this is pixie dusters. I think this is people pixie dusters are people that we say that they put a fresh coat of paint on anything. Like even if they can't call balls and strikes. I mean, just because you're extreme in your fandom doesn't mean. Again, using a sports analogy, you can be extreme in your fandom for, your favorite football team, but all of a sudden they cut so-and-so, they trade blah, blah, blah. And you're like, man, what the hell's wrong with this team?
Yeah, I just did that.
I'm going next year and I'll renew my season tickets. I'm going to watch every game, but what the hell's wrong with this team? Damn it. People in charge suck.
Yeah.
We all have that. So just because you're a fan doesn't mean that you're incapable of criticism. I think the pixie duster term was always to say like, they're the always look on the bright side of Disney. Kinda like
they can't do any wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Bob Iger farts and they're like, ooh, the room smells better.
That's pixie
that's just an imagination effect, a smell effect. Smell it, sir. Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say if that's who they're thinking of, then it's like, well, then again, yeah, not every single fan is like that. So like you have that one extreme, but then you have the other levels. But I wasn't.
I mean,
sure.
we're from New Orleans, of course. If you're listening to this for the first time, which is in South Louisiana, and how many people wearing like LSU gear or have LSU clocks or like pens and just things all over the place.
Yeah.
Just extreme. And I guess the same thing for people in Alabama. They do the exact same thing. But I mean, I guess any fan base like that.
I have extreme opinions about that.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if you went to the school, sure. But if you haven't even gone to the school, like really?
Right.
Yeah, it's always funny to me when I point that out. And there's like, oh, it's a flagship school, Louisiana. I was like, no, who cares?
Yeah, me either.
And that's the other thing too. I mean, if that person wants to be hardcore about whatever they want to be hardcore about, Disney, whatever. I mean, like, okay, fine. You can have that. That is totally your right to like that. And I don't think someone should really, criticize them or dig in their business on it. Let them have that.
Yeah, they'll let the sports teams people have, but they won't let Disney people have it.
Exactly.
Which is odd.
And ironically, don't Disney own ESPN? So it's kind of like they're like Disney, like adult sort of like that, right?
I mean, they probably define themselves as more sports fans.
I mean, it's a
if anything
stretch.
else.
It's a stretch. That's fair.
Yeah, well, you have to look deeper than the superficial.
That's right. Because I'm a creative. I look really deep.
There you go.
Deep undercover.
Yeah, so just to kind of sum up what we just talked about, just thing to remember is that social media always amplifies extremes. You know, the algorithms that we all try to strive for reward intensity and not necessarily moderation. And, you know, every fandom has this particular thing. You know, it's a Disney maybe has scale because of the term, it's tied with Disney, but every fandom has this, as Danny had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've tackled some of the classic Disney adult myths. When we come back, we'll get to the newer criticisms, the ones that have popped up recently and honestly maybe hit a little closer to home. Who knows?
All right.
All right, and we're back. Here we are with criticism number 4.
All right.
Here's the latest version of this criticism, and is that Disney adults are the reason prices keep rising. They'll pay for anything, they excuse everything, and basically they consider us enablers. With rising prices and complex park systems, Disney adults are blamed for supporting and normalizing cost increases in unpopular corporate decisions. Is this actually true?
I was laughing on that.
Okay, so again, we're immature adolescents who can't even remotely face the real problems of life, but at the same time, we can afford to pay so much money no matter how much they jack up the prices. We got you, Disney. Yeah, because Disney's bread and butter is an extreme fan base that supports anything that they do, and not parents who are well off looking to take their kids on the best vacation ever. Like, really, dude, believe me, the Disney adults who go that often know every cost-saving trick there is. They're not the ones paying $400 a person for Premier Lightning Lane. They're the ones who, like, if you show up between this time and that time, so-and-so only has a 20-minute wait, you know? So, no, I don't think this is fair. Like, no, we don't enable Disney's bad behavior. If anything, I think we hold them accountable.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I don't have a Disney magic tree that shakes money in my backyard, and I don't think most people really do. So there's no way to really say that how is it that a fan can tell the owner of a company what to charge them? I mean, if that was the case, people would go to Walmart and say, hey, I want this pair of jeans for $2 instead of $35. Like, that doesn't happen. That's non-existent. And like we were saying earlier, I mean, the average fan, they got a family, they got bills, they got responsibilities. I mean, they don't want the prices to go up because that's harder for them to go to the park. And the people that are able to go to this, we've talked about this on the show a lot. I mean, they are well-off, wealthy people. I mean, there's royalty that is Disney fans. I mean, go after them. But yeah, nobody said, hey, excuse me, Bob Iger, I'm sorry, Josh Tomorrow, please, can you hike up the price because I love your product so much, I'm willing to live under a bridge after I come back from vacation.
That's right. This is my 6th day in the Polynesian bungalows.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm ready to wash dishes right now. I mean, come on. Like, nobody does that. I mean, I think the judgment there on the Disney fan, I think that part is probably insulting
Yeah, it's pretty
to the
erroneous,
intelligence of a person.
Yeah, to Danny's point, yeah, of course, Disney adults or Disney fans that know this stuff, especially who travel to parks, would know all the tricks and stuff and how to do it. The bad decisions come from when they have to turn a profit, and they're going for the people that have the money to do it and try to make it easy for them. So they don't have to think. It's like, hey, if you just put up this money, so-and-so, you can get this. You could do this, you could do that. So for them, it's business. They're just trying to make money. We don't like the decisions.
Yep.
We've been critical about it for sure. But ultimately, they got to realize that Disney is still a business, and they got to turn a profit and make shareholders happy and all this kind of, to make the board happy and all this kind of stuff. But I don't think that's Disney adults enabling this.
No, because Disney adults who know Disney inside and out, those are the people who are like, don't buy the dining plan. It's not worth it unless you do this, that, and the other. But it's the people who don't know anything about Disney that's like, oh, our meals are covered. Dining plan, check.
Right.
You know, or don't spend a fortune in your room when you're barely going to be there.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. Those are the things that people who go there a lot and who I would consider to be Disney adults would do. I don't see that as an activity that you can keep up.
Right.
And again, unless you're just John Stamos or something and you just love Disney that much.
That's the man right there.
Okay. And so he's a Disney adult with money who might be spoiling them. Yes.
Right. I mean, of course, maybe they don't know that like Disney's pretty much their own entity. Like they're in that park. Right. So, I mean, they got their own taxes, their own infrastructure. They have to keep up with that. So, I mean, it's like a city almost. So it has nothing to do with the fan. I mean, it may have to do with other governmental things. So
Sure.
it's not just us.
Yeah, Disney adults might be Disney's most loyal audience, but we're also the most critical. That's just sum up what we've been saying. You don't complain this much about something you don't care about. And blaming fans for corporate pricing decisions just feels a little lazy and convenient for those critics.
Yeah.
I think.
Totally. That's an insult.
Yeah. All right, so next one, number 5. And maybe this one could be uncomfortable, but exists.
All right.
There's still a cultural idea that Disney parks are for families, meaning adults should only be there if kids are involved. Some people believe Disney parks are primarily for families with children, and adults who attend alone or are child-free violate that social expectation. And we've kind of run into this with people we know, where they initially they thought, oh, it's just a place for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they go, they're like, oh, this is different. I mean, this is a lot better and stuff. And we hear those kind of stories a lot. People that initially will say, "Oh, maybe I don't have any kids, so I can't really go." It's like, well,
Yeah.
no, you can.
I know people like that where
Yeah.
I'm like, I swear you'd have the best time of your life.
Yeah.
If they give it a chance.
Yeah, if they give it
Yeah.
a chance. But I mean, this whole idea of there shouldn't be any single people at Disney or people without children at Disney. I mean, well, there'd be a lot of empty bars and 5-star restaurants. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Tori and
gonna say.
Albert's wouldn't exist.
No.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, people, they're
Geo 82 gone.
gone.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of adults that go and get married at Disney so that they can have children to bring later. I mean, and as an adult that has brought a child and has gone by themselves, I mean, it's a completely, different
Oh, it's a completely
experience.
different trip.
Yeah,
Completely different experience.
and the times that I've gone, and my daughter, just in case anybody's listening, my daughter's a full-grown adult. It's not like she's like 5 years old. Like, hey, it doesn't take me anymore. Full-grown adult, but it's an experience where, like, yeah, I'm not trying to push some kid out the way to get on the teacups or something like that. I mean, it's like Danny said, like, I'll go to a restaurant, I'll go to a bar, I'll go on, a roller coaster ride or something like that, but it does not impede any family, any kids' process of fun at all. So yeah, the park is way bigger than this ageism that they're doing right here.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good way to put it as far as ageism, because I'm curious to know why do we think this makes people feel uneasy?
It seems to be a creepy allegation behind it. That's what it comes across as to me. Like, if that makes you feel uneasy, talk about needing safe spaces.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
if you need to not say, like, if a couple on a date, if two people in their mid-20s on a date makes you feel like, your children might be in danger or something like that, you might need therapy. I mean, how many child abductions has there been at Disney World? Because I haven't heard of one.
We've done a lot of bad behavior ones, and there's never been kidnapping.
It's mostly
There's never
drunk
been a
adults.
part.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a public playground where you really have to wonder, why is that guy here? No, there's plenty of reasons for adults to be there, financial being one of them.
Yes.
But yeah, there's all you need. Yeah, this is I don't like this criticism at all.
I agree.
The whole idea, like, it feels creepy to even think about it, to be honest. I don't even want to talk about it no more.
No, that's right. I mean, I was going to say this as well. I mean, like, there's different parts of Disney that is open late. I mean, like past 8 o'clock or something. So, like, your average little kid, they're tired of ripping and running anyway. They should be out at
bedtime,
in bedtime by like 9 o'clock.
Sure.
If you're an adult, you can still go. I mean, like, how many times have we gone ahead and got a lapu late at night, gone out and just checked out things at night? I mean, and that, again, does not impact any kid whatsoever. It does not impact any family whatsoever. I mean, the place is huge. Like, whoever these people are that made this criticism, they must think this is like the size of like a trailer park or something, where it's like so tiny that you're just going to bump into people. This is not like that.
I don't understand why that makes people feel uneasy, or why they have to think that's it, and when they don't even take the time to explore what it's actually about.
Because I think the world's a terrible, evil, nasty place, and everybody's out to get them.
Right.
That's the only thing. They like. It's just a persecution complex or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if these people will be willing to listen and have a conversation as far as like why adults without kids would even want to go, if they would be open to hearing that point of view, or they just made a judgment and that's it.
You got to let them go through a lot of videos.
I was going to say, I think that's just it, because I mean, if they've been to Disney and they've actually experienced it and they have a question about why an adult would want to go, then you can talk to you blue in the face. They ain't going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they just don't listen,
Nope.
I guess.
They haven't gotten to that point yet. But yeah, it's a different world for sure.
Right. Yeah. All right. So here's the next one. This is another modern criticism, but they say that Disney adults ruin the magic. Too much planning, too many phones, influencer culture, over planning and influencer behavior, phone heavy park days, and main character energy, so to speak, are blamed on Disney adults rather than broader crowd dynamic. Do we think this is a Disney adult issue, or is it just a modern culture issue?
Well, they're scapegoating to a degree. I mean,
That's a good way to put it.
the whole heavy park planning and being on the phone, that's Disney wanting to properly staff their park and not pay a dime extra that they don't have to on staffing.
Mhm.
That's what that is. But to the whole influence behavior, I think it's kind of scapegoating to a degree because, there are people who will ruin your experience by sticking you in the background of their YouTube videos so they can rattle on with their oh so important thoughts about the pickle milkshake.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to sit there and have a good time with your family. You're not looking to be in the background of their YouTube video. So there are those people. Yes. And again, I think that speaks to that level of extremism that we talked about before. I don't like it so much because of the difference between that and sporting events is that normally in sporting events, you don't have somebody with a phone recording their thoughts on the game as the game's going on with you in the background while you're sitting there trying to root your team on. They don't have that. Like that is kind of, you don't go to a movie and there's a guy with the phone out. Well, I
was going to say
at times, but not for a significant period of time.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is pretty good, but I'm already finding fault with it. You don't see that as much, but you do see that at Disney. We saw that at GO82. It was so distracting. I saw it at the Beacon Barrel. So distracting to have people running around doing that, and I wish that they wouldn't because they give a lot of other people a bad name. But again, I would put that into the level of extremism that we were talking about before.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a generalization for sure. It'd be like these could be the same people that hold you up at a grocery line because they want to go and get a candy bar somewhere else, and like instead of moving their cart out the line, have you wait. I mean, that just may be on the mentality of the person that happens to be there.
Selfish, yeah.
Yeah, while you're on vacation. But to be fair, and I think the counterpoint to that one is like I have run across some of the most well-behaved versions of people at Disney as opposed to like outside in the normal world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I might be a big guy, so maybe that's part of it too. But there's a lot of times like I've bumped into people that, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And it could be my fault. It's like, no, you enjoy your vacation, enjoy the real world. Bump somebody, you scuff my shoes, it's on. I think at least in the park, people are just trying to have a normal, cool vacation. And that's been a lot of people being on their best behavior there. So again, I don't judge that on being part of a fan. It's just a lot of people like to go. A lot of people are in their own bubble. They're not worried about the person behind. Like Danny said, like somebody wants to go ahead and be that first person to catch that attraction and to catch that bar. They're in their own world. They're not worried about the people around them. And that's just part of that culture. But you can find that at any sporting event, at any concert, like you said, anywhere. That's just on the person.
But not to that level of distracting. You don't find that kind of, not to that level where it's a video of you being recorded in the background of somebody else while they're like, you're trying to have a nice meal at Narcoossee's.
I feel that.
And there's a guy over there who is, reviewing their brand new,
the drink
fruits a la mer appetizer.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Ooh,
So there is that kind of sense of like, yeah, you don't go to Emerald's and there's somebody live streaming the friggin' dinner at the table often, but you go to Disney and at least one person usually I see on the phone trying to garner, especially if it's a newer place.
well, GO82, we talked about it when we did our review. We saw that.
We saw that,
When influencers influencing.
The newer the place, the more likely you're going to see that.
That's fair. Yeah, people will videotape, like especially if some sort of sparkling cake or something. Like I've seen that around the city before. But to your point, yeah, it doesn't have that same level of grandioseness. But that's, again, I think that's still on that person's personality, as opposed to anything else. But yeah, it's not everybody's fault though. That's my point.
Yeah, I mean, over planning and all that kind of stuff that they're criticizing, it didn't really start with the Disney adults. It basically is what happens when systems get more complicated and the demand exploded. You just got to figure out a way to navigate all that.
Yeah. And that's not the Disney adults' fault. That's Disney corporate fault. Like, what we got to do with that? That's bad help desk.
Now, there are those that do forget that the park is for all ages. When you talk about, the adult experience, everything like that, there are those that will forget that the park is for all ages. And much like going to the movies, the parks are rated PG. So you shouldn't expect to hear R-rated language or see X-rated behavior. Oops. While you're at a Disney theme park.
Sure.
But more often than not, those activities are engaged in not by Disney fans, not by Disney adults, at least. They have far too much respect. They will live stream in the middle of your meal, but they have far too much respect for the parks to,
engage in
go around
behavior.
cussing up, and causing up a fuss and whatnot like that. I mean, more often than not, those are the people who kind of overindulge a little bit. I would say, like, I think we've talked about this before where I've been in line. Like, this is another criticism I would say that you would see of that is where you're in line with your kid to go see, I don't know, Tiana. And you're waiting in line to see Tiana, and there's people. Now you can start to hear the conversations of people in front of you, and you're starting to see that the people in line, there are some people in line who are just adults, and they want a picture with Tiana. No problem, they want a picture of Tiana. But when you start trying to test the cast members' knowledge of the character and asking them questions from the movie, and I was like, what's going on with this? And then you start trying to role play with the character a bit, and now you're taking up a lot of time. That can get it. And you got your partner videotaping the whole entire thing. Like, that can be a little bit much.
I'm going to say, like, bad behavior episodes actually, like, piggyback off of what he said. Those people that just have had too much and they're almost outliers. Because it's not like we have tons of those episodes, but there's enough. We're like, oh, yeah, this person tried to do something really crazy. And usually it's from somebody doing something crazy before they get to the park. Yeah. And then once they're in the park, whatever they have done has kicked off and it has happened. Mm-hmm. So again, not on the traditional Disney adult. This is just off of, again, an outlier, a crazy person that just was like, let me just take this to a far extreme.
It reminds me of the time, I don't know if you remember this, but out in Disneyland, how they had those like Disney fan social clubs with the jean jackets, and they had that look like car club guys and stuff. They walk around like they were gang roaming the parks and what.
Was it like a smock kind of
smock, but some of them had like the jean jackets with the patches and stuff all over it, all matching gear. And
that's their cut.
Yeah, that's their cut. That's their drip. That's their team.
Okay.
Social thing. Just walking around like they're all tough and stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's a little bit too far.
Mickey Biker Gang.
Yeah, that's what I just hearing about all this. It reminded me of that. I don't know if they even exist anymore, but I can see how that can kind of get in the way because they move in like packs. It's it's hard to get around them, and it's like they're not considerate of most, at least the ones that we run into.
Yeah, and most people are not going to get close enough to realize, oh, those are Disney patches. These are cool people. Like most people are like,
yeah, and stuff.
Hell's bells.
Yeah. All right, look. So before we wrap this up, we got a couple of more points left to kind of talk about. And maybe we'll explore to see if any of these maybe have some validity to them or the rest are just trash. I don't know. We'll see. Let's take a quick break right here. And we're back. All right. So this is number 7. Especially on TikTok, there's this idea that Disney fandom isn't about enjoyment anymore. It's about aesthetic branding. Loungefly walls, outfit reveals, curated park reactions. It's the idea that Disney adult culture is performative. They're worried about their own branding versus genuine enjoyment. Is the criticism.
Are you talking about Disney, the company, or the
fans?
The fans, yeah. The Disney adults in general, yeah.
Like when the fans dress up, but they can't, like that kind of stuff, like that, like the cosplaying kind of stuff. But you say they're branded.
Like when they, I think this criticism comes from like the view on social media, as far as how these people portray themselves, and the outlandish kind of things. They find it to be more performative than actually being genuine. Which maybe kind of like leans to maybe some of the pixie duster things that never seem to find any criticism.
Well, it sounds like just stereotyping people. Like, so you think people dressing like this and acting like this because they're not genuine, they're just putting on a front?
Yeah, I think that's what they're thinking.
No,
You know, it's like, I guess because they can't believe that adults couldn't act like that. And it's like, why not?
actually, I would think that Disney loyalists are some of its toughest critics.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the ones constantly bitching about how things weren't the way they used to be, and we're the ones who pay attention to all the changes and call it the BS of the politics or of the corporate decisions that they make. That's the one thing we hate about Disney is how corporate it's got.
Yeah.
About how it's gotten away from creativity and imagination, and that everything has to be structured into a formula, and every attraction has to be opened out as a preformed land, even if you don't have enough content to justify it being a land. Like
Right.
we hate that idea of Disney needing to
It wrote out nostalgia pretty much.
well, yeah, trying to whittle out the what do you call it, the creativity and the imagination and the creativity of the parks, and replace it with a corporate structure where A plus B plus C equals successful,
Money.
Attraction or ride or whatever.
We make it donuts.
And widgets. Yeah,
Widgets.
we're just cranking these suckers out, and there's a formula to it. And as long as we hit those 4 to 5 items, it's like, no, that's what we're saying is like everything should be different. Everything should fit what it's there to fit. Like, it's us who hold them, I would say, accountable. I mean, are there loyalists that take it to the extreme? Sure. But I mean, as we've pointed out many, many, many times before, there are Republican loyalists, there are Democrat loyalists, there's religious loyalists, sports team loyalists. I mean, there are loyalists all over the place. But I mean, I tend to find that amongst the Disney loyalists, there are more than enough that, hell, I'll even hear Lou Mangello occasionally throw a criticism here too. I mean, so it happens.
Yeah, I mean, to his point, I mean, Disney rapidly keeps trying to change stuff to where the last time you visited the park, something you're used to isn't there anymore. It's been turned into something else. I mean, what fan wouldn't like to see what they love to be gone? I mean, if that's what that criticism meant as far as holding some sort of standard, okay, well, I guess I can see that. But also, Disney bought up a whole ton of stuff. So branding, that's not on the fans. I mean, it sounds like Disney shotgunned it and said, hey, look, they like Star Wars. They must like Marvel. They must like this and that. Let's just get everything. Let's just get everything people like that makes them happy and just try to own it all. Again, that's not on us as the fans. That's on the company, which we have no part of. Yeah, I don't have much stock in Disney. Maybe I should be trying to invest in this, but
I have one stock.
You got one stock?
Yeah, one stock.
How much effect are you having with that one stock? Are you changing
let me
the
tell
world?
you, I make the company move.
That's right. You better put that on social
With my
media.
one stock. That's right.
Put that on social media with your goofy hat on. There you go.
You know, what's funny about this criticism is like I think about the movie Zootopia, and you know how they had the little baby that when he was what's his name? Nick was running his little scheme with a little baby mouse or whatever else, the little toot toot. And then, they go around the corner and he takes off the mask and it's like some dude starts smoking a cigarette.
Mm.
Well, he doesn't I don't think he has a mask. He just drops the what do you call it? Not the nook. The thing
Bonnet?
that the little thing that babies suck on.
Oh, the pacifier.
Yeah, pacifier. Yeah, he knocks it out and he pops the cigarette and he's like, yeah, Nick, thanks for the money. Or something like that,
I'm not that familiar with Zootopia. I've seen it like maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a Who Framed Roger Rabbit style with that baby.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's like, it's the insinuation that their fans are putting on the act. Like, they're really not like this in real life. It was like they're wearing a costume of sorts. Like, yeah, they may be wearing a costume, but it's like, I think these people actually like this thing.
Yeah, you can't judge somebody by what they do or say in social media. Like, that's the one crux of that argument that they have, that it kind of makes it awkward to say. I mean, social media is somebody just taking a very small snapshot of their thought or what they're doing for that day. And they might be tweaking that picture, but you don't know what that person looks like. Again, how many people in real life do you see walking around with, I don't know, like fairy wings and Disney hats outside of Disney? You don't see it. So I mean, right there, that kills that. Social media is somebody doing something crazy in their own house
just to get likes and clicks and stuff and whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is the last criticism we got.
Okay.
And it may be pointed to what that the whole source of this when I was talking about my friend and the Facebook post, and I said, "Oh, you got told off by a Disney adult." Maybe this is what they're going after. But the idea is that Disney adults are too sensitive to criticism. The passion for Disney is sometimes interpreted as fragility when fans respond emotionally to like changes, closures, or negative commentary, or anything that maybe goes against what they believe.
You're like sensitive, like they cry when they get put up against something they don't like, or that's what they mean by sensitive?
No, they get very defensive.
Well, that's just people. Good dog.
That's not sensitivity. It's called passion.
Yeah.
I mean, same as when you're mad at, again, your favorite team for cutting your favorite player.
Your favorite golf guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Same as when Metallica fans are pissed off because they're doing a duet with Miley Cyrus. Same as when Soprano fans got pissed off when the screen went black at the very end of it. Or when Eli saw the Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
I still won't watch Wonder Man.
It's just passionate fans having an opinion. You know, that's not sensitivity. It's called passion. Sorry, that doesn't work out for you. Maybe try finding something that you give a damn about in your own personal life that you care enough about to look at it and hope that, you know, like, hey, like you're not treating this well.
Oh, really quick, the Miley Cyrus Metallica thing that really happened?
I don't know. I made that up.
Oh, good. I was about to say, wow.
I don't know if that happened or not. Like I was just coming up with
that was because I can see that.
Okay, but my God, I think they did one with Lady Gaga.
I can see it though.
So I don't know. Like I'm sure.
No, it was good though. I like that.
Something like that might have happened. I'm just saying, like I don't buy into that whole thing. It's like, yes, can there be? Are there snowflakes amongst every community that can't handle criticism, that need to live in their safe spaces? Absolutely. But I mean, to again apply that
to all
people,
that's
where you lose me.
I mean, and this is I don't want to make this too over the top, but I mean, this is America. America's always built on people who they don't like how something is going and they voice their opinion about it. So that's not necessarily like, that's why I was making sure it wasn't like somebody cried, went into the corner.
Oh, no.
You know, but yeah, I mean, if you have the right to voice, just like we're basically making sure this person or people, they have shared this criticism. They are sensitive because, you know, like you said, this started because your friend talked to somebody about something that had nothing to do with Disney. And then somebody else on social media was like, you got handled. You got played by a Disney adult. And whoever that person was, they got sensitive, but it has nothing to do with Disney. Actually, if anything, it should make that person want to go to Disney more if they got handled by a Disney adult. I mean, like, you know, we don't have sensitivity because it's a natural thing. We have sensitivity because, like Danny said, it's a passion. It's something that inspires you. It's something that when you go there, you're like, I don't see this anywhere else. I would love to see this again. And this world is built on people that have the passion to defend what they like, don't like, build upon that, and make it better.
Well, and 9 times out of 10, I don't care who you are, what you're doing. 9 times out of 10, what you're doing isn't exactly what you thought you would have been doing as a kid.
Oh, you got that right.
Oh, yeah.
And that is one thing that Disney is good at, is that when you go over there, it's kind of a creative recharge. I was
very much,
you know, associated with going to Mecca. It was like the Mecca of creativity. Mm-hmm. And so when you go over there, I mean, even if it's not creativity per se, maybe your dream is, I don't know, you open your own business, open your own restaurant, whatever it is, you know, it makes you believe like, wait a minute, maybe there's still time left. Maybe, you know, and it's nice to see that in a world like that, where, you know, you go to your family and friends like, you know what, I'm thinking about opening a restaurant, and they're like, are you crazy?
What you know about that?
You've never even been like, you're gonna fail. You're like, you got so many people willing to beat you down with unrelenting negativity. It's rare to find, you know, somebody like, hey man, reach for the stars, go for your dreams. Anything is possible. You know, that kind of message, it sounds cliche, but it really isn't a part of regular life, which is where most people live.
The funny thing about what you had just said about the business part is that maybe not a lot of people know this, but I've worked in a couple of places that actually went to Disney to learn the Disney business model.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. No, they got books on it.
Yeah. Books. And they're not even amusement parks and not like that. But yeah, they understand, like on that high scale, they even understand. That's a level of service, and that's a level of making people want to come back and crave your product that these guys have that knowledge of, and they want a piece of that.
Yeah. And everything we talked about, there's an underlying meta criticism that this isn't what adulthood should look like. Right?
Meta criticism?
That kind of like, the kind of meta, it's like underlying the surface of all the different themes that we've had.
Good Lord.
This is when adulthood should, can I tell you something?
There's a dollar show?
I don't know if I told the story in the podcast or not. I might have, but there was a woman that came over to our house one time, and she was a classmate of my daughter's. And this was a few years back, and she saw the man cave, and she saw all the different posters and the little collectibles and everything like that. And she's like, "Oh my God, Danny!" Like she's acting all like this is who you are. Like you're like a little child at heart, like everything like that. And then I saw her
in your own home.
Yeah, and I'm like, seriously, that it's just like, it's fun, it's collected. I was like, yeah, go, I have a great time, my family, everything like that. And then I see her husband, and her husband's about my age, and he looks like Wilford Brimley.
Yeah,
I mean,
I remember this,
and it's like, yeah, maybe, you know what, if that's what adulting looks like, if that's what adulthood, I should say, looks like,
you're good.
I'm good.
I'm good with where I'm at. Yeah. Hand me my, my lightning lane and my lapu lapu.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll sit over here with the rest of the children, I suppose.
Yeah. And that's the point I was going to make. Because like the whole idea that doesn't fit with the traditional ideas of adult seriousness is because, I work hard for my money, and I get really aggravated when I spend said money. And, I don't get I don't want to say value, but I don't get whatever it is that I'm expecting, matching the amount of money that I spent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and what I mean by this, I'm explaining terribly, but what I mean is this. I made this comments like, we love going to get sushi. There's one sushi joint that we love. We always get great food, great service, great everything. And then the minute we stray away to go to a different restaurant, it's just a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
And the food's not even good. That's where I get really angry. It's like the food's not even good for the money that I paid, which is more than my normal joint. I'm like, what is this? So it's the same thing with Disney. It's like, I go to the parks because I know I'm going to get a good service.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, it's clean. It's maybe like the ideal kind of city situation, more or less. But I know I'm going to get my money's worth on something. Granted, I mean, the whole value thing that we've been talking about the past couple of weeks, that's a whole different conversation. But if I'm throwing down these many Benjamins or whatever else, I want to get some kind of return where it feels like, I didn't completely waste it. Which in some restaurants, I'll go and eat, and it's like, yeah, I just wasted $150 on like junk.
Yeah.
And so as an adult, I'm like, I'm making that decision. I don't like this. I worked too hard for this to waste it on something that's going to be half-assed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think if the underlying thing is, just be an adult and stick with that, well, then, a lot of people would have croaked like way earlier if they had nothing to believe in or nothing to have some sort of creativity or basically a stress reliever at that. But I mean, adulthood in itself, when you're a kid, you want to be an adult because being an adult looks like you're able to do whatever you want. Yeah, it looks like total freedom. But once you become an adult and you realize, hey, wait a minute, I worked this hard. I get money taken out by taxes. If I do this goes wrong. If I do that, this goes wrong. You find yourself in a big ball of anger. Actually, it's like a big snowball of anger that you're trapped in the middle of. Like you just like in it. And to me, any adult that I've met is always talking about something negative. They're always talking about, again, taxes. They're talking about, death. They're talking about stuff that is like, okay, I get it. You're depressed. I understand. And so if you have that option to be that person that looks out, find something creative, find something that cheers you up, and then you can bring that into yourself and then put that out into the world, I mean, that sticks with people. It never fails. And then those people will say, oh, yeah, well, that's just Eli. That's just what he does. But what they won't tell you is they're like, how do I learn to be like that or to get some sort of attribute like that without being too forthcoming about that? Because it involves not complaining. It involves learning how to be creative and having a passion and having a love of sorts that goes beyond anything that you would deal with in real life.
It could also go along with the fact that they have to admit they were wrong.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
which is tough for a lot of people to do.
And
Very much.
My question is, where do these people think that all of these wonderful movies that we've grown up on over the years, the Star Wars, the Lord of the Rings, or I'm trying to think of some of the more fun movies.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. These weren't made by children. These were made by adults.
Yep.
So if this isn't what adulthood looks like, well then shoot, we'd have a lot less good movies, a lot less great TV shows. I mean, you need people with overactive imagination and creativity who can imagine a world, a make believe, if you will, as you were a kid. Come up with things like, oh, maybe this happens, maybe that happens. That's the mindset of a child. That's basically what you're criticizing. And it's the hallmark of every great movie that we've ever seen, every great TV show we've ever watched.
Absolutely.
Even Hallmark movies.
Even Hallmark
You know,
movies.
that's-
No,
that's
not
what it
those.
is.
Oh God, when the Hulk calls you.
Those are made by, just mad, depressed women.
I don't get it. But like like Twilight
Twice
Zone.
divorced. They're sitting there
Oh
like,
God.
Oh yeah.
This is what I want if I got to check. But like you said, like say Twilight Zone Tyler Turner, inspired by an anthology show that's
Yes.
been around since the 50s, 60s. They still play that. They've got like 4 or 5 different iterations of that show. You know why? Because that sticks with people.
Yeah.
Like, that's just an example.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Oh,
my
yeah.
goodness. I mean, it's endless, the amount of things that you could point to. I mean, great stuff is brought to us by adults who somehow manage to never let go of that inner child, which is all Disney adulting is.
Yep.
Never letting go of that inner child within you that can still see the wonder and the majesty and the possibility that in life that adults' hearts have hardened to. It's like that scene, what do you call it, in the Breakfast Club, where she's like, I think something happens when you get older where your spirit just dies.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't want that to happen to us. I mean, that had nothing to do with Disney. It had nothing to do with children. It had to do with teenagers worried about being adults, because people like that, people who make that kind of criticism, sounds like their soul is just dead.
Dead. Yeah, that's why you have pop culture, because when it happens, your spirit pops up and now you love it. So,
Speaking of youth, it always reminds me like the Golden Child. Like I want the knife, and all the monks are just very serious. So like, what the heck's going on?
Let
it's
him
like,
ask again.
Yeah,
that's good.
I want the knife. Please.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so is there any place where maybe these criticisms have some validity, or is there anything that we're like, maybe?
Yeah, the more theatrical nature and some of the people who indulge in this stuff, where they need to draw attention to themselves, and that's the whole goal of them being there, is to draw attention to themselves. I mean, the last thing you should want to do as someone who loves the Disney parks is like, we go and we never record inside the parks unless like there's just nobody around or something like that, because we don't want to detract from other people's good time.
Sure.
And we don't want people to be like, yeah, that castle is nice, and this is, what are these 3 fools doing over there? And I think we're in their shot, and why are they recording this, and why are they recording us?
Why are they talking to their phones constantly?
Yeah, that would be the one area where I think, when this whole thing has become now performative, where people can't just go enjoy the food, come back and, here's my pictures and here's what I think about it. They have to do it at the spot. That's the stuff where it's like, again, if this is my once in a lifetime Disney trip and I'm trying to sit there and have a meal with my family that is second to none, you are distracting when you're in the background doing this, all this stuff. So yes, there are those people. There are those people that go out of their way to make themselves the attraction, as opposed to letting the attractions be the attraction.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's just Disney. I think that's like a result of like YouTube, TikTok, social media type stuff.
Yeah.
Where they get paid for this kind of thing. And we see it. We have people in New Orleans that do this all the time. They're doing king cake videos right now. They're going through every restaurant in the city. They're talking about Mardi Gras. You can see them on that, and they're pretty much doing the same dang thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think this is bigger than like, oh, it's a Disney fan thing. It's like,
Yeah, maybe.
It's a result of people getting paid to do that.
Yeah, that social media stuff, that I would agree with some of that criticism, but again, that's somebody that's like the cosplayers. I think the cosplayers kind of messed up the comic convention for what I remember it being, but that's because they're like, oh yeah, they took over that culture and now everybody wants to know how to make a costume, and it's just taken away from things.
Well, I would say that they've definitely made it a lot harder to traverse the aisles.
Yeah. You know,
like those aisles are pretty slim to begin with, let alone when you got, a costume that takes up, 4 yards of space.
But
The longest yards.
right.
But as far as like the rest of the stuff, I mean, yeah, I think that those critics just need to go to the parks with the family, sometimes without a family, and then just learn all the different amenities that Disney has. So I mean, like they've had bars, like we already said, they have resorts. I mean, they have stuff where you don't need to go to a park to enjoy yourself. I mean, they just haven't checked it out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're giving it a shot.
Yeah.
Well, look, the more we talk about this, the clearer it gets. This isn't really about Disney adults. It's about visible joy. And, some people may think Disney adults violate an unspoken rule that adulthood is supposed to look serious, tired, and cynical. And we're not doing that.
Nope.
Being a Disney adult isn't about refusing to grow up. It's about handling your responsibilities and still choosing joy. You don't have to like Disney, but liking something harmless isn't a character flaw. If that's cringe, we'll survive. And hey, look, if you're not a Disney adult, that's fine. But if you are, welcome to the club. We're having a great time.
That is like very Jerry Springer final thought-ish of you, Kevin.
Yeah. And he's in a DVC club, so it worked out as well.
Wow.
I was thinking was Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. When I wrote that. I was like,
he's right. That was Jerry Springer. We all love each other.
I want to look in the mirror and say, I like myself. I touch myself.
Oh,
And
gosh.
damn, people like me.
Well, yeah.
Now you see all this chaos and fighting. Let's be friends.
Let's be
Yes,
friends. This is how we can avoid that.
Yes. Be better humans. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed our discussion about the term Disney adult and what that means to some. Look, if you want to learn more about us, the Magic Our Way podcast, make sure you follow us on any social media platform. Also, you can get in touch with us to share your opinions on anything we've talked about today through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or send us a text message. Yes, I did say text us at 1-815-MOWEEKEND. That is 1-815-
MOWEEKEND
669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of people do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli, does things with comics.
Yes, sir. As always, you can visit the Ivory Comics website. You can see all the work I have. Comics such as Project Geisha, Savages, and The Bali Be Damned. Also on the website, you'll see blogs and interviews, and of course, a link to the Magic Our Way podcast. So you never miss a beat. You never miss an episode. You never miss the fun of being a Disney adult.
Boom.
Boom. On social media, Facebook, you can find me there, Eli H. Ivory. As long as you're a real person, it's a pleasure to meet you. If you're a bot, I'll need to greet you. Put that in the criticism for the Disney adult. Also on Facebook, there is a Project Geisha fan page, so please check that out. On Instagram, see what you guys and girls have out there, posting those hearts and likes. EIV504 is where you can find me there. And of course, on X, I can be found at Hancock 10166. Oh, yes. If you appreciate the madness, you're just bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much.
And look, if you want to book a vacation, Rachel can definitely help you with that.
I would be honored to help your family book your vacation to Disney destinations, Universal, cruise lines, and major hotel brands around the world. Booking with me is at no extra cost to you. The cost of a travel agent is built into the cost of your vacation, whether you use one or not. And when you book with me, a little bit of your trip comes back to support the podcast and the fan community here at Magic Our Way. You can reach me at Rachel, Rachel, at magicourway.com, or you can find me at R, the letter R, Family Magic, so Our Family Magic, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also give me a call or a text. My phone number is 978-432-WISH. Reach out today and let's make some magic with your family vacation.
In addition, go to patreon.com/Magic Our Way to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast. Another option that only costs a minute or so of your time is to leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show, whether it is on YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Any way in which you can support this show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are welcome on the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So we say Kwaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
All right. Nachos are on plates.
And you are. Bye!